All right, if you're a trader and you feel like you're just stuck, constantly looking for that one missing piece of the puzzle to become profitable, well, you're going to want to pay attention to this. Today, we're diving deep into a high-performance program from the Trade Positive Institute. It's designed to finally bridge that frustrating gap between just learning about trading and actually getting real-world results. Let's get right into it. And this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's the one that keeps so many of us up at night. You put in the hours, you study, you practice, you follow all the rules you've been taught, but that consistent profitability, it just feels like it's always slightly out of reach. So why? Why is there such a huge difference between knowing about trading and actually succeeding at it? This quote from the Trade Positive Institute just hits the nail on the head. They're basically saying, hey, it's not you, it's the broken system. There's this massive disconnect between knowing what you should do and having a teaching method, a pedagogy, that actually helps you do it profitably, under pressure. It's a huge problem in the industry, and it's the exact problem they're set up to fix. So here's our game plan for this breakdown. First, we're going to really define that core problem traders face. Then, we'll get into the Institute's pretty unique philosophy and decode their market model. After that, we'll walk step by step through the 4 stages of their program, check out the professional toolkit they give you, and then, at the end, we'll help you figure out if this path is actually the right one for you. Okay, first up, the trader's problem. Because before you can even think about a solution, you have to get crystal clear on the problem, on that gap that holds so many of us back. So on one side, you've got the industry standard, right? These generic, one-size-fits-all courses that are packed with theory, but are super light on how to actually execute it. The Trade Positive approach, it just flips that completely on its head. They focus on what they call mastery pedagogy combined with institutional precision. The whole game shifts from just learning theories to mastering profitable execution. It's a totally different ballgame. And that intense focus on execution, it leads us right into their core philosophy. They're really clear that this isn't just about training you, it's about a complete transformation. Yeah, they see it right here. This is more than training, it's a transformation. They don't even call themselves a school, they call it a strategic career consultancy. And the idea is pretty simple but powerful. You can't mass produce a high-performance skill like institutional trading in a webinar with 500 people. It has to be transferred directly, like a classic apprenticeship, mentor to student, one-on-one. So what is this specific method they're teaching in that mentorship? Well, that brings us to the very engine of their entire program, the ASFM, which stands for the Algo Smart Flow Model. Okay, so let's break that down. The key word here is protocol. The ASFM is a structured, repeatable system, and it's designed to do just one thing, to capitalize on how the big banks move money around. It's all based on the actual logic of the algorithms that drive the market. So it's about getting in sync with that big institutional flow, not trying to guess or fight against it. Now, this model is built on what they call the 5 pillars. It's a really logical progression. It all starts with the logic of the market algorithm, that's the why. From there, it flows into understanding liquidity transfer, the what that actually moves the price. Then you learn to identify the context or the location, confirm that location with institutional price action, and finally you pull the trigger with algorithmic timing. See, each pillar builds right on top of the last one. So, how do they actually teach you all this stuff? Well, the entire certification is laid out as a super clear 4-stage journey that takes you from where you are now to a professional level. It's a 4-stage intensive process. The whole goal is to turn trading from something subjective and emotional into a predictable, data-driven business. Stage 1 is all about deconstruction. Seriously, the first thing they do is help you dismantle all those flawed retail logic strategies that are probably holding you back. The goal here is to completely rewire your brain, to get you to stop looking at simple candlestick patterns and start actually seeing the story of the market, the flow of money, and the algo logic that helps you anticipate moves before they happen. Once that foundation is set, stage 2 is all about execution. This is where the rubber meets the road. You learn to apply those fundamentals in a live market. It's all about validating your trade setups, mastering entry models that are objective, not based on feelings, understanding the massive influence of timing, and really breaking down how that order flow transfer works mechanically. All right, stage 3 is management. And honestly, this is the part that truly separates the amateurs from the pros. We're talking hard, objective rules for your take profit, your stop loss, and reentries. But it also goes deep into managing your own psychology, that FOMO, the greed, the fear that blows up so many accounts. A huge piece of this stage is using their custom journal to analyze your own data and build a trading plan that's actually validated by your own performance. And that brings us to the final step, stage 4, certification. This is the prove it phase. You're in the live market, applying the logic, and, this is key, operating by your numbers, not your feelings. Then a senior trader literally audits your data, your track record, to polish any rough edges. Because the ultimate goal isn't for you to just copy a system. It's to evolve the entire ASFM framework into your own customized, validated system that fits you perfectly. Now, you're not just getting a bunch of lessons here. The program gives you what they call a complete ecosystem, a full toolkit designed for a professional trader. And this toolkit is seriously comprehensive. You get lifetime access to all your one-on-one session recordings. You get an official academic platform on Canvas, which is the same system that top universities use. You get their proprietary indicators, a massive 2-volume compendium that details the entire methodology, and 7 fully validated trade setups with exact flowcharts so your decision-making is consistent. And maybe one of the most powerful tools in that whole kit is their professional journal, built in Notion. This thing is automated to track the hard numbers that matter: your win rate, your risk-to-reward ratio, your mathematical expectation. It completely takes the emotion out of reviewing your performance and forces you to operate like a real business. And maybe the most important thing of all is that the support doesn't just stop when the course is over. Graduates get a lifetime alumni membership. That means direct contact with the instructors and access to the whole community. As they say right here, you are never alone in front of the graph again. And if you're a trader, you know how huge that is. So with the one-on-one mentorship, all the tools, and that lifetime access, the program is a single one-time investment of $3,000. It's also worth noting they're super strict about admissions, only taking 10 applicants a year. That's how they can guarantee that level of personal commitment to every single student. Which, of course, brings us to the final and probably most important question. This program is obviously really intensive, it's highly specialized, so who is it actually for? They are very, very clear about this. This is not for total beginners. This is for traders who already have some experience but have hit a wall. It's for people who are humble enough and willing to unlearn the bad habits they've picked up from all that generic retail stuff. But most of all, it's for people who are ready to stop treating trading like a hobby or a slot machine and start treating it like a serious, professional business. And really, that's what it all comes down to. This whole approach is about one thing: transforming your trading from a gamble into a systematic, data-driven business. So the final question isn't really about learning a new strategy. It's about deciding if you're ready to adopt a completely professional mindset. Are you ready to make that commitment?